Hey, I wanted to share a short little video about a secret of social skills that I've learned. So if you know anything about me, I'm pretty much an introvert. Even since high school, I've always been shy, introverted, never really outgoing. But lately, I have realized the importance of social skills. And there was this one little trick that I learned that greatly helped me, make more friends and meet new people and, develop those relationships. And this little trick is that to be interesting, you just have to be interested. So it sounds counterintuitive, but when it comes to conversations, a lot of people are like, man, I'm worried about what I'm going to say. And there's one little trick to that. Don't worry about what you are going to say. Worry about what you are going to ask. So you just got to find what the other person is interested in talking about, and then you just ask them questions. And if you do this over and over again, and not don't do it in an interview kind of way, like, oh, what about this? What's this? What's this? Do it in a way that you're seeking to learn from them. And if you can do that, you make the other person feel so important. You make them excited about whatever they're sharing. It's like this little lesson that I learned goes a long way. So I wanted to make this a short little video just to share that super special lesson and an example that I'm going to share that supports this hypothesis. And I believe this is this is not a theory. This is a law. I've done this over and over again, and people are like, "Wow, you're a great listener." And it's like all I did was ask interesting questions. I just asked questions about you, and then you answered them. It's like I'm not interesting. I even recorded some of these conversations. I'm not the one that was talking most of the time. It was you, but you think I'm interesting. So it's like one example that I have to support this theory is I have an email list of around 70. I think it's like 72 or 73,000 email subscribers. So 73,000 people have found me, and then they're like, hey, this guy has some interesting content. I'm going to put my email in, and whenever he has something unique to put out, I agree that he can send me an email. So I sent out an email a while ago, and it was like, here are some interesting people that I've met, and then at the end of it, the last person that I've met was them. So I said, here, number one, this is this person, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then number 7 was you. So I was saying, hey, the most interesting person that I've met, number 7, is you. You need to go ahead and reply to this email and share some stuff about yourself. I'm curious to get to know you. And then I sent this email out to 73,000 people. So for the past hour, I've actually been reading through them and answering them. And what I found is you can ask this question, and initially you're like, hey, just go ahead and reply. And a lot of people, 200 or 300 people will reply. They hit the reply button and type something out. Some people sent little messages, some people sent longer messages. And it's like, whenever I read one of these, the next thing that I would do is ask them another question. I was like, hey, I really like this thing that you mentioned. One guy was a futures trader. I don't know if you know what a futures trader is. I was like, is there anything interesting you can tell me about the futures market? And then, let's see, someone else was doing their psychology PhD. So they're getting a PhD in psychology, and they said that my content had helped them a lot. And I was like, hey, what is your PhD about? What is your, they have to write they have to come up with a new theory or debunk one. And I was like, what is your paper about? And so by asking that question, I got huge responses. People love talking. That's a little secret about communication. You don't have to be a good communicator. You just have to be a good listener. If you can just ask the right questions, and it's not like asking the right questions you're at an interview, like I mentioned earlier. Don't be like you're at an interview where you're just trying to absorb as much information as possible. Try to be genuinely interested in whatever they're trying to say, and I guarantee you, the other person will feel heard, they'll feel special, and they'll feel important. And if you can nail those 3 things, your relationships will blossom into this amazing thing. And I don't know, it's just a little trick that I found that once I it's one thing to know something, and it's another thing to apply it. Once I started applying this, it's my social skills of just learning about people, learning things that interest them, got way better. And also, people love talking about things that they're interested in. And so it might take 4 or 5 questions to get to that topic. Obviously, you have the initial when you're meeting someone, you're like, oh, do I trust this person or not? But after 4 or 5 questions back and forths, you can really get into what makes someone excited, and then you just get them spewing everything they know about it. And it's I had this guy on blockchain development. So I don't know if you're into cryptocurrency or anything, but I have actually created a business around it. And I had him on a video call, and I started just asking him questions, and I was I could tell by the 4th or 5th question, he was just spewing all this knowledge out that he probably should have charged me for, because this stuff is he's the top guy. He knows. He's probably in the 1% of people that know stuff about blockchain development, and I'm asking him these questions, and it's just because I'm interested, I'm curious, I'm asking these questions in a curious way, hey, that was really cool, what do you think about this? Or, that's a little weird. What about if this happened? And it's like, all you have to do to be an interesting person is just be interested. You just have to give other people your attention. And that's a really difficult skill for a lot of people to develop. And it's like most people internalize social skills, but when it's like the trick with social skills is not making them personal. It's like it's not your social skills to develop. What you got it, which the goal is for you to learn how to like make other people feel important, and like that is like that's like the whole goal of social skills. If you make the other person feel important, or like you are giving them value, then like you've won, and like you've made a friend, like you made a connection that will be valuable to you and them for the rest of your life. Anyways, I wanted to make this a short little video, and I see we're already like almost at 6 minutes, so if there's anything about social skills, one little trick, all you have to do is you don't have to be interesting. That's like the biggest lie. If you want to be an interesting person, you just have to be interested in what the other person wants to talk about. Anyways, that's a little hack. I wish I knew that in high school. Man, I could have made so many friends, so many connections. I could have been like so much better off than I am now. So if you're watching this, one day future Theodore, that's what I make these videos for, is for me to watch in the future, maybe learn something about my past self. If you are out there and you're like, man, how do I be an interesting person? The answer is to be interested. You just got to start asking questions. You got to like want to genuinely learn about the other person that you're talking to. It'll make them feel super important. Anyways, I've talked about this topic a whole bunch, so I'm gonna go ahead and end the video. I'll see you guys later.